I mean, on the one
I
hand,
saw you.
I just can't see after that appointment.
I need to schedule
No,
my
I'm
own
talking.
eye doctor.
Talking
He's
about
talking about in general,
in
not today.
general, not every day. Just in. I'm talking about not today, just in general.
So, guys, I totally intended to have written notes for today so I could reference them quickly and not rely on my jank ass memory. But I woke up super late and I didn't do that. So we're gonna have some.
No.
We're gonna have some back. Well, I woke up at 11, tried to get some sleep, and then
You woke up super early, fell asleep, woke up early again, fell back asleep, and then you woke up again.
and then I woke
Right.
up late.
So the most important thing that happened last session is that Corey taught Bill the true meaning of Flag Day.
And there you go. Okay. Strong start.
And Bats taught David how to explode his eyeballs.
I abandoned the poor old man who could have helped me to get stuck to the whims of I forget which character.
Sweet
but I
Tooth.
know- Sweet Tooth. And the arthritis old man must now fold candy.
No, he is not doing that because
The arthritis man must help with candy.
yeah, he's doing something that his hands can do just fine now.
Yeah, but like the fact that Sweet Tooth's step one would be, hey, can you pull taffy without a machine?
I'm sorry, you want me to introduce an imperfect machine into my process. You think that a machine, a robot,
Bringing
random metal.
Hector in just to, and his only thing is to mechanize your entire process.
I actually
I
would
will
assume
keep
that
you.
any machine that Sweet Tooth used wouldn't be made out of metal. Like I was imagining it would have just been made out of structural candy canes and weird. I'm imagining like you have like a pull string that's made out of a Twizzler and it starts an engine that runs on cola.
That seems about right.
His engine would probably run off something that's at least slightly alcoholic. Because
Mountain Dew.
acceleration might be
Wait,
failing
no, he
and
can just
Dennis-
power it off of a soul.
Mountain Dew is
Just grab another soul from one of my
You have
characters.
access to the afterlife, potentially. Okay, so
We could just find inventor and kill him.
I have a question about the afterlife, Sam.
okay.
Carrie Ling is presumably an old man. If he is,
We never said
he's
that.
presumably based on who I think he's based on. If you die as an old person, do you still just kind of have Werther's original, or does it change because you're a young ghost now?
You
it's
go back
Werther's
to being a
imitation.
child.
Did you
No,
say
see-
imitation or invocation?
Well, I said imitation, but it's invocation now. You have to
Okay.
summon.
So when you're younger, you don't have Werther's original. You have the soft Werther's that has like a chocolate center.
Oh, I do like those though.
Okay.
What did I say? What did I say?
So, we're gonna cut to the impromptu candy shop.
Oh wait, I also remember Amp saved the day.
With
No,
Wolf's
Amp
group.
did not.
Yes, he did because Sam said, with Amp's quick thinking, you guys avoided travesty.
What? You're
So
the one
there
who wanted
was one
stars there.
point where
There's
you
literally
guys were
one-
debating how to word the candy, or it's their clown drugs, and it's like, do we want to ask for something close to, or do we want to ask for exactly this? And Tom was starting to say something about something sufficiently like this, and Amp just cut in with, no, exactly this, which
Okay.
is, finding exactly that kind of drug cuts them off from the multiverse. They have to find it in local reality, which is much harder.
Can I say that it seems that stalkers are strangely, like, enormously accommodating?
As long as you're helping them work towards what they want, they will literally do anything for you.
Yeah,
I
but
feel
like,
like
they told us about dimension hopping and they didn't just say no.
I feel like that's very dependent on which group you're interacting
yes,
with.
very much so, yeah.
Like if I could have the wrong read on this, but I think like Heigel's group of you got in the way, they might just shoot you instead.
Oh no, they will absolutely shoot you because see, then you're not helping them get what they want.
Yeah.
The second
Wolf's
you are
group
an
seems
obstacle,
reasonable.
the second you are an obstacle, you're fucking dead. All right. So we're gonna cut to the impromptu candy shop, and Mr. President finishing up some research projects, summoning soldiers like mad. Sweet Tooth feels a tap on his shoulder, which is very weird because he can see Timekeeper and Mr. President at the same time right now.
Sweet Tooth's going to continue doing what he's doing. He's currently pumping a steam engine that he made out of candy. It's pumping like stuff into the air that is currently liquid, but it's crystallizing into sugar and snowing onto the candy cooling table. So he looks back to see who's behind him.
It's White of the Vaqueros. He's like, okay, so we spread out 300 pounds of taffy. What do we do next?
How did you? Okay, so what you're going to start doing is, let's see, how many of the vaqueros are in here?
It's just white and orange. You have no idea how they got in there. They did not follow you in.
This is fine.
Like
We're
the
just going to roll
Speed
with
Force.
this. White is the teleportation one, if I remember
Yes.
correctly. I'll just assume he can hop realities. I don't know if this is accurate, but that's what we're going with. That
Anyone can
or Orange was the one who punched a hole in reality to make a discount sun.
No, he didn't do that, but he can make suns. He did
Okay.
not replace the sun, though.
Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to take the candy that you spread out. You're going to... Here, I'm going to give him, like, a pair of candy scissors. You're going to cut out strips of that. You're going to go over to one of those candy hooks over there, and you need to throw half of it over and just kind of stretch between the two of you. Then once that's sufficiently long, you don't want it to snap or anything. You're just going to fold it over itself, and you're going to keep doing that about 400 times.
He nods and goes, got it, boss. You notice that his little bag of powder he uses in place of gunpowder is turned over like a metal... Like, he put metal bowls under it, and he's just collecting large amounts of powder for some reason.
What's the powder for?
Well, we have a fight coming up, right?
Yeah.
Well, this powder, I need it for my power to work. And also, I can give it to other people, and we can, like, if you line your boots with it or line your gun with it, it silences things. But I can only make, like, a couple grams a day, so...
At some point after the fight, I might have to get some of that off of you.
Also, Orange is here because he was hugging me at the time. I still don't know why he refuses to elaborate. I think it might have to do with the people that were between the spaces inside the warehouse.
With what?
Yeah, so Orange doesn't normally hug people when he's scared. That confused me too.
That's not the part I was hung on. What people between the spaces?
So, I don't know. They were really scary. They had kind of like a cyber tribal look to them.
I can't roll streetwise.
Can I over here?
Yeah, sure. Go for it.
I will streetwise with my 4
I
heart
need to get that
dice.
back. I keep forgetting that I need to get that back.
The Bone Forest has long-reaching implications.
Alright, 4 10s.
Okay. Chris, you've been in, like, the dispatch world long enough to get some, like, rumors of what's going out in the larger world. You know Wolf's group in the abstract, or at least the descriptions of them. With 4 10s, you can probably guess it's, okay, Tom's Bayou Bill's tooth is more messed up than we initially assumed. They're probably after Bill.
I will, stalkers?
That seems like kind of a harsh judgment on them. I don't know if they did get up to in their daily life.
Okay.
Oh, hobby.
No, that's just the group they're from. I was asking if they're part of the stalker group.
In
But
character,
my,
yes. Also in character, White has no idea what a stalker is.
I know, I am getting that. I was just trying to confirm information. Well, that's bad. They're probably after Bayou Bill, based on his little tooth escapade back in the flotilla.
His what now?
Oh, I'm just gonna go over to Bill and let him know.
I wouldn't bother him. I've looked over at what they're doing with the fops, and it looks like
What is Bill doing at the moment?
it looked rough.
So you see a skinless
Smash cut.
man with fake glasses, bone spires coming out of his head, a fake mustache, clown nose, and a post-it note that says "normal guy," where a name tag would be. He hands you a knotted wooden sphere with the blood washed off, an expiration date, and a photo attached to it now. This man has been
Okay.
trying to get in for 24 hours straight.
Can I roll scrutiny to look at the ground and see how many fake mustaches I've ripped off this guy?
That would be a perception check, but go for it.
Okay.
Can you use electro perception on that?
Only on
Unless
two
they are alive, which actually, while I do this roll, can I use electric perception on this guy?
You would have to choose one or the other to do a roll on.
All right, I'll just
Isn't
roll
electro
perception then.
perception
Oh, is
I
it?
just rolled. I got 2 10s on perception.
All right, let me open up the calculator. Okay, so he's been doing this for 24 hours. I'm assuming you can do at least 3 per minute. Room for error, that's about 4,300 mustaches.
Holy fuck. I'd like to try my electro perception on this guy because I know that Corey told me not necessarily to do that, just be detail oriented. But who the fuck is this guy?
Tell you what, you've been doing this for 24 hours and you did a decent enough roll in the last one. I'm gonna say, looking at this, you just things start clicking in your head. You look at him. The only thing you recognize him at this point is rejected customer. Like, species don't matter. Biology don't matter. You look down at the knotted wood he gave you, and weirdly enough, facets of it start clicking into place. Where he placed the expiration date, crossed it out, wrote a non-expired expiration date, the photo. This isn't just an ID. This, based on the info you're seeing, is a worker's visa. More importantly, as you tap it and feel hollowness where you shouldn't, this is a fake worker's visa. That's a crime.
All right, Bill is probably far beyond sighing at this point. So with just no real inflection, we'll just look at the guy and say, "Okay, this is fake, man. I'm really sorry. You gotta go."
As soon as you label it as fake, he begins gurgling. And he just turns and books it into the darkness.
I'm gonna walk up, but I want to time it to the same time as the guy comes back.
So I want to point out, these are massive areas that you guys have been allocated. It's going to take you a couple hours to walk into the 5 points recreation. Remember, the kiln alone is 200 by 200 miles.
Wait. Let me figure out something. How about I just write a note and then have a soldier slowly move over with a grappling hook?
A soldier picks up the note and gets into a high-speed jet.
Sick.
There we go.
The note is airdropped. What does it say?
I like to think that the note was airdropped as a paper airplane.
Stalkers might be after you. We should talk once you're done training.
Do I have the option to respond back?
No.
Not unless you can think of something.
Um,
You cannot reply to this message. It says at the bottom.
well, fuck. Now I have to derail so I can think of a way to do that.
I am gonna say, the lesson Corey has been teaching how to which is basically spot fakes, is kind of seeping in. For the moment, you have access to the Midnight Crew spot forgery ability. You look at the note, absolutely legit. You look at Corey, absolutely not a real person.
What?
You have access
Corey's
to the
not
spot
real.
forgery spot forgery ability, so you can tell when things are trying to mimic something else. This note, legitimate. That worker's visa, not legitimate. You, legitimate. Corey, not forgery.
All right, Bill's at his breaking point, and we'll just say exasperated. Okay, so I haven't slept in 72 hours. My life's turned into a bad ROM hack of Papers, Please, and you don't even have the decency to actually be here?
Corey's just gonna tense up a little bit and go, I'm here as much as I physically can be. It's complicated, okay?
Okay. Is this fellow a person trying to enter the space, or is he just the tricky customer you had who you are divining and returning here? Because he's literally the only person who's tried to get in this entire time.
You notice that there's an actual just straight up line of people. It's just he basically goes back to the back of the line and then starts jauntily walking back up, and the line starts cheering him as he goes back up. Like, you'll get him this time, Galactor!
Galactor.
Hey, Seth, can you make the attribution for that Galactor 2027?
Yep. How's Galactor spelled?
However you want.
GLAXTCKOTOR.
Oh.
Okay, so after you said it was fake, though, he has bolted, he is gone, the crowd is booing, everyone's upset.
Tell me the next guy in this line looks exactly like Galactor.
Unfortunately, no, this one's a skinhead.
Okay.
He's just gonna put up his hands like, hey, man, I can see you're good at your job, I'm good at mine, too.
What? What does that mean?
Hey, just being friendly. He is approaching slowly, gently puts a hand on your shoulder, goes, look, we both know who I am, right?
I'm gonna roll streetwise.
That's very kind of you to give him benefit of the doubt. I sure would.
Okay, I have no matches, but I did roll a 6 and a 9.
So, unfortunately,
summon
no
me,
matches.
shot.
You don't catch this in time. He just
All
goes,
right.
okay, I can see you don't, but he puts a hand on your chest, let me in. And then the light shifts and you see his broken pupils and lizard eyes as his hand plunges into your chest.
Man, he worked for the government.
All right, so
He worked for the government.
That's
Goddamn
so
glowy.
good. Fuck, you got me.
The gooberment.
gentlemen,
I was really worried when Tom said he rolled a 6 and a 9. Nishot was going to come up here.
incredible.
Shot can hear it.
Just comes up.
So what damage do I take from that?
Weirdly enough, no damage. You are gonna have to make an endurance check, otherwise you're fundamentally going to have some issues.
All right. I have endless endurance.
Cool. How wide is it?
2 hard dice.
All right, you're fine for this round. So, Corey, he looks a little bit unsure. He's definitely not 100% sold on this course of action he's about to recommend you. But he gives you a hand gesture that says, basically, don't fight, intimidate.
Intimidate.
But like it's a performative type of intimidation. Like don't show that it's getting to you. You have options for rolls here. In
Okay.
response, since you have endless on endurance, this didn't take up your turn. You have 3 options. Well, 4, but you can attack him, try and get him off you. You can roll intimidate to try and get him to back off, which is difficult, but you have another option. You have perform, which is the easiest of the checks, but will deal some damage to you.
All right. What's the lighting of this situation look like?
Oh no.
Fairly dark. It's basically like a spotlight on the door, and as you get out of its range, it fades into a black abyss.
Does this man have a visible shadow?
I don't think he should, but I might be misremembering.
So, in my perception of like this room, it's a pitch black floor. Like it looks like you're standing on a void.
Correct.
So he should not have a shadow.
Okay. That's a shame. It just struck me that the weapon artifact that Bill has would be a great crowd control tool.
Yeah.
So Bill can't do perform because he doesn't have any. He only has 1 charm. And what was my third option?
You could do intimidate, which has a chance of hurting you, but it will also basically intimidate is just get him to back off. If you succeed on intimidate, I will give you the option of taking damage for a greater success and a thing that might happen later.
Okay. Given that, I'm going to roll for intimidate.
Okay.
Okay. That's pretty good. That is 3 10s.
Okay.
Bill doesn't say anything. He just stares at this man. Sort of shrugs a bit like he does not give a fuck and is more like, what the hell are you doing? No words are shared. He just looks pissed off, more annoyed than anything that's just happening right now.
Let me 3 10s. Okay, let me roll stability for him. You see his irises reform. You see his hand yank out from you. There's some sort of organ in there. It's nothing human. He drops it, turns to run. Shadowy hands reach up from the void beneath him and drag him down as you hear screaming into the infinite void.
And can I use my hyper anatomy sense on the whatever he stole from me?
It wasn't so much stolen as just ripped out. It looks like he was going for like not anything in particular. When you do anatomy sense on yourself, you don't really see too much that's human left.
Yeah.
It looks like he was going for like maybe one of the patches that were vaguely more human than the rest, but your intimidation threw him off. What you're looking at is like a heart adjacent organ.
All right.
You look down, you are gushing blood right now.
Okay, is that closing with my healing factor?
You don't have a healing factor right now. You look at the heart thing, that is the organelle responsible for your healing factor.
Ruh-roh.
I didn't know that was locational.
It was not originally.
Fuck. All right. Bill will just dive for it and hope to just fucking put it back in there and see if that sorts itself out.
All right. You only have. Let me make a call here. I'm gonna need you to make 2 endurance checks real fast for me.
All right. So just roll the whole pool.
Yeah, you're gonna take 1 penalty dice. For doing multiple actions.
Does
you'll
penalty
have-
dice take first from pool or
From the hard dice.
Okay. And I only roll 1 pool for this.
Yes, you don't. Basically, we're treating the other endurance as you shrugging off the pain of the thing reaching
Okay.
your chest.
So in that case, I have 3 10s and 2 9s.
Did you roll 2 10s?
Yes.
Nice.
Holy shit! Wow. Yeah, gain that willpower. You get it into your hand. You have the option. You can totally put it back in your chest right now. Corey's going to yell, "Wait, don't."
All right.
You're passing
Against
out
all
quickly, but-
odds and instinct, Bill will listen to Corey.
All right. You pass out as you get the image of Corey. Like the light on him just flickers. Next thing you know, he is right next to you. He is shoving a hat into your chest and it is molding to the open wound.
I didn't know hats did that.
As Bill's consciousness fades, he has a moment where he thinks that because Avery did this to him a few times, it's kind of fucked up. This is soothing him, and then he's out.
Let's see here. Snapping back to consciousness, we get to Charlie in the bog.
Okay, if I remember correctly, I was covered in mud for bonus dice and stealth. Oh shoot, I meant to buy... Can I buy survival real quick since I haven't rolled anything? I meant to do that before this session. I was going to buy a dice of it since I used it a few times.
Yeah, you could buy a dice in survival. That's fine.
Explain how you have this sudden survival in character.
Because I have been walking around for a good number of hours now in a bog trying to not die.
We also
With-
have an in-universe reason for Charlie remembering skills in a second. We'll get to it. So, what Charlie sees right now, the anomaly is currently fighting a giant electrical eel. Massive thunder strikes are striking the anomaly, which are getting absorbed promptly. You see, you feel gusts of wind as air is being compressed into giant spiked pillars of glass and being thrown at the eel, acting as
Okay.
points for it to drain the life out of it. It seems more preoccupied with draining energy than it is finding you at the moment. So you have a little bit of breathing room. Albert is trying to get out of the sun. He's trying to go into some nearby reeds. Points of interest. There's like a geothermal bog. That's the closest thing to you. Across the reeds in a shallow pool, there is a power plant looking thing.
Okay.
And
And so I feel like the power plant is the worst option. Okay, sorry, there's more. Okay,
there's
got
a
it.
third location deeper into the water. It looks like a dock where some of the ships are overturned, but you see a few smaller boats out in the open.
Okay. My gut feeling says go to the dock. Let me think for a second to think about why that might be wrong.
Okay, well,
Can I roll navigation to see how difficult it would be to get to any of, like, have an idea of how difficult each of these trips is going to be?
yeah, go for it.
Navigation is based off mind?
Correct.
Okay. It is no matches. Oh well.
Yeah, So, It's hard to judge overall difficulty when there's so many different obstacles in the way. Currently, Albert seems to be trying to get into some nearby reeds to get out of the sun. He has also covered himself in mud, which seems to be helping, but he's a Grim Widower.
Yep.
They
They don't like the sun.
Yeah.
I think more, if I remember correctly, even more so than Dread Widowers.
Correct.
Wait, I thought he was a Dread Widower.
Oh wait, yeah, he is a Dread Widower. The normal ones are Grim. Whoops.
Yeah.
He's a Dread Widower.
But what I said was correct for him, not the name. Yeah.
Albert's variety hates the sun more than the others. Whereas the other ones are just hurt by it, he takes like a very
Killed,
real
yeah.
damage from it.
Let's see. Is there any approximation of like something that floats? I guess.
Make a perception.
I just. Oh no. I have 2 dice for that. Nope.
Nah, the only thing nearby are some reeds and some bamboo.
The way I normally look for things does not work for me right now.
So you have, I'm going to give you 2 options for movement. You can roll athletics to cover as much ground as possible, or you can roll stealth to cover less ground but leave fewer tracks.
I will do stealth.
All right, roll coordination, stealth, and the 2 bonus dice. We're going to say Albert's making his own stealth roll, so we can't help you.
Gotcha. Are you kidding me? I had 5 dice and no matches. That's upsetting.
All right. Your path is awkward, kind of halting. You have to take frequent breaks. Wait. If you go super slow, you can add up to 2 bonus dice, but you'll go really slow.
Because I already rolled and picked up the dice, I'm going to say I didn't do that.
All right. In that case, you do cover more distance. But you're not used. You're used to being out of the fray. You're not used to moving as much. You break a few fronds. You notice at several points you've left drag marks in the mud. Hoping.
I will remember you. I did toss a portion of
you have
my hand off.
You cut off a tip of your finger and left it in the back. I do remember that. I have notes on that.
Just wanted to make sure. I know you said you didn't have as many written notes as you wanted.
Yep, no, I appreciate it. Okay, so you don't get super far, but you manage to get to. It takes you about 6 hours, but you manage to work about halfway between the docks and the power plant. I'm gonna need you to make an endurance check real fast.
Okay. I'm making a lot of checks that I am not good at.
I'll be back in a moment.
Okay.
Oh, that's actually, I got a pair of 2s.
All right.
Yay me.
You don't suffer any exposure penalties. But you feel the cold beginning to seep into your bones. You basically have had a thermal conduit on your skin for hours now. Where the mud's worn away and you've had to replace it, you notice your skin is wearing thin in several places.
Sure.
It's been almost 2 days and you've barely drank any water.
Am I at a spot where I can chill for a little bit?
Yeah, the anomaly's headed in the opposite direction. It looks like it's feeding off of some thermal vents right now.
Okay. What are, like, plants that are immediately around me?
You have some bamboo-looking shoots. You have some cattail-looking things. There's some lumpy tubers in the ground that you would have to dig up, and you're not too sure what they would look like if you go into them. There's some seaweed-looking stuff off in the distance. In addition to that, there's just some thermal shallows, some glow bugs in the area.
Okay. So I would like... You said there was cattails?
Yes.
So I think this works. So I believe I was given a fire starter, correct?
Correct. It's basically a giant block of flint almost.
Okay.
You need to hit it with something. The knife works.
Okay, so I would like to use put some water in a steel cup.
All right, you got the steel cup.
Actually, I'm going to scoop water into the. Let me. How do I want to do this? So I have a thought of something that I want to do. I'm just not sure with the tools I have the process that I would want to do this with.
If you roll survival, depending on the result, I can give you some tips.
So I want to pour the water actually through the cattails as I'm pouring it in to the steel cup.
Okay.
That should catch some of the sediment, and I should get cleaner water on the other side.
Roll survival for me.
That is no matches.
If you had a second cup, you'd be able to do it. The only thing you can think of right now is you have a shirt.
I was going to just try and cup my hands and pour the water. Okay.
No matches is no matches. You're not going to get good ideas.
Okay.
So there's two important things. Three important things. One, you have no fire. Two, you have no water. Three, at some point you're going to need to sleep, whether by choice or not.
Mm-hmm. I'm hoping to be able to sleep at the docks. Well, so you said it took like 6 hours to get halfway to the docks?
Yeah.
So I could probably wait 6 more if it's off elsewhere. Maybe. There might be materials at the docks. Oh, actually, that's an idea. You said there was leafy plants, right?
Yeah.
Could you just...
They
What kind of plants?
They look like kind of like purple fronds. They have like a stiff spine. It's a bunch of narrow strands of leafy matter that coalesce into things that look like a giant, kind of like almost like the leaf of a palm tree, almost.
Yeah, yes, I googled it. So I'm gonna try and boil the water under those and see if I can get the steam to coalesce on that and drip.
Okay, so the main issue is, what are you burning? And everything around here is damp. How are you drying it out to get a fire started?
So the individual things on cattails should be usable as kindling. I don't think those hold much moisture on their own.
Alright, you take one of the cattails, you break them open, there is some white fluffy stuff inside. It's a little bit wet, but it seems workable.
I'm going to hold more of that for later, so that I can dry it out as I'm moving. I'm just gonna like tie it on my back or something.
That's not a great idea when you're covered in mud.
I assumed the mud was dried, but okay.
No, it works better if it's wet. Also,
Gotcha.
There's no sun here, or at least it's behind like 6 layers of cloud. There's very little warmth.
That makes sense. Okay. Let's see, Franz is not that woody.
Okay. I'm going to give you a second to think about this. Remember, your goals are fire, water, sleep. If you have any questions, just DM me. I will answer you. We're going to go from no fire to all fire. Bob?
Yeah.
Propulsion is hitting day 2 of training. So just to go over the mechanics, because these ones are pretty involved. This is all about heat management. Every day, the mechanics you've uncovered so far. Every dice you roll generates 1 heat. So if you roll 10 dice, you hit 10 heat, you automatically exceed your goal for the day. when you hit 10 heat, you have to make a very if you hit 10 heat before the end of your day, you have to make a endurance check. Otherwise, you're going to get stuff like the Heat's Vision, where it's like arguably an upgrade, but you take a penalty in return. You haven't completed a day without maxing out your heat yet. Every round that something happens, you're going to take 1 heat from the kiln. If Bats hits you on one of your patches, you don't need to worry about damage. What's going to happen is you're going to automatically take 5 heat from the patch being hit, and your passive heat is going to increase for the rest of the days. So it would be like if he hits your patch, automatic 5 heat plus the 1 heat of the kiln. If he hits you twice, you automatically fail. Bats did say he was going to make things harder every day. And with your heat vision, the world is stark black. You see wisps of red heat. Bats is a glowing point as soon as he steps into range. You see him take out a bat, and your thermal vision tells you immediately that bat is on fire. That hitting you will generate a lot more heat. But Bats isn't moving at superhuman speeds. He's starting off at normal person speeds. Okay. Now, something to keep in mind. You are also running low on water. It's been 2 days, and the water Bats offered you as kind of like a trap exploded as soon as the kilns were on. It seems like the air is above boiling, like the flash boil point for water. The only water you're aware of is the water in the patches as like a medical suspension. Like, you know how they suspend medicine in saline products.
Yeah.
So every 2 to 3 days, you're going to have to trigger a patch on purpose.
Well then,
You can either
let's
trigger...
get hit.
All right. Okay, so you're taking no actions for this day?
Yep.
All right.
I don't have to things.
Okay. So Bats does have a bat that's on fire. He's going to hit you with that. It's only going to deal 3 shock damage. You're immune to fire, so it doesn't set you on fire. It doubles his normal. So that bat's on fire. That's going to deal you 4 heat. There's 1 heat from the passive heat generation of the kiln.
And then there's 5 heat from the patch.
Which gets you to 10. Which is the number you didn't want to hit.
Or did I?
Okay. Please make an endurance check.
4 9s.
Oh shit. Okay. Yeah, I will say the endurance checks get a little bit easier every time they happen. Let's see here. Let me open up the document.
Ooh, the document.
Praise be.
Praise be to the document.
Okay. So Bob, you feel your body struggling with heat dissipation regulation. Or, well, David does. The air is shimmering around you as the heat is just vented. You have 2 options. One, you can try and internalize it, or, well, let me explain the problem with this. As the heat is externalized, it's like melting your clothes. The glasses are starting to melt as well, or the goggles. You feel like if you vent the heat, you're going to be dissipating at about the same rate the clothes would be stopping it, but the clothes also make it kind of harder for Bats to see where your patches are. If you internalize it, you're not sure what that'll do to your heat regulation, but it'll save your clothes and like as an armor at least. Which one do you want? Do you want to like focus on internalizing or externalizing the heat?
Internalize.
Well, rope's not.
Okay,
Sorry, I hit.
Bob is chosen.
I
Mad
have
lad.
chosen. I have chosen combat.
All right, Bob. You've unlocked Burning Blood. So let's see here. There we go. Whenever. Okay, so that's gonna be Bloody Retribution sub ability actually. Whenever you take damage, your blood is pressurized. You will basically spew molten blood as like a heated pressurized stream. It's basically damage reflection on anyone in melee. If Bats hits you, you're going to just throw lava at him essentially. So as Bats' bat connects with you, you see your skin flash red for a second, and it's almost like a mist, like a red mist, covers the bat in his arm. You see his leather jacket begin, both getting like pressure washed and burned off. As he withdraws immediately, he has to immediately get 10 yards of distance between you and him. You notice Bats goes passive at that. Day 3 ticks over for you as you both kind of just deal with the heat. It's getting bad. We're gonna tick over to day 3 in just a second. We cut to outside the time chamber. So, Amp, Avery... Well, is Avery still in the room? Because he mentioned he was going to the room with no intention of seeing Bayou Bill, right?
Avery will probably still be in the room because while he did say he didn't expect to be there, there still is the question of decorum to follow where it's probably best for it to seem like he's doing his best to keep it from happening.
Okay.
Like if he just immediately flagrantly denied it, that could be construed as a rude, and Avery doesn't know enough about stalkers to know if that's bad.
Okay. So that brings us to Amp and Karenate are going to receive this message.
Amp's still like frustrated from dealing with the stalker. He goes over to Karenate. Can you believe that guy? So takes everything so literal. Ridiculous, right?
And they really have no idea how to handle high explosives.
Yeah, that was another thing.
So unprofessional.
Do you want to mess with them and see if we can get them to do stupid things?
Not really, because I'm afraid they'll just blow themselves up. Or us. It's a very real
I'm not that worried about
possibility.
myself or you.
You see Skater Kid appear with graffiti saying, "Can I interrupt?"
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I don't know who you are.
Okay, he pushes a bottle with a message in it. Do you unroll?
I pull out I grab the bottle. The message in it.
All right.
What's the message
You
say?
unfurl it. It's very neatly written, very calm, very professional. It's from Reggie. It says, "Hey guys, I've been found out. I'm in danger."
Which part was Reggie from?
He's in the hive. He's your inside man on the hive. That's the bad news, guys. Good news. I was found out by the butcher's men. I might have an in with the rebellion, but they want to make sure I'm not an inside agent for the hive. Can I send an agent to you guys?
I don't know who Amp doesn't know who Reggie is. This is not the people to talk to.
Karen
Who
is
the-
just gonna
And I'm
stand
just
there
gonna
like,
look at it like, who the fuck's Reggie?
okay, so from context clues I've gathered since I've been here, Reginald is a spy.
Okay.
So he's basically asking, can he send agents here to confirm that he is a spy so that he can get an in with the Hive Rebellion?
But what if they're pretending to be the Hive Rebellion and actually agents of the Hive?
And I have chivalry roll perception to hear the word Reginald and help this situation.
Go for it.
These are all very good points, Amp.
We need some. Where's Mr. President and Charlie and all the responsible folk that handle this?
Chivalry gets 2 9s. Does he hear?
Yes. Chivalry can join in the conversation, not Avery.
Okay. So Chivalry hears Reginald and just busts out of his room, kicks the little door open.
Shh! You're gonna startle the stalker.
I don't know what you're talking about. You mean... And Chivalry kind of like points at Avogdra and mimes cracking his own neck. You mean whatever that is?
Sure, whatever. Do you do you know this Reginald guy?
Yes.
Oh,
Did he send us a message?
yeah. Said he's been found out and he wants to send a spy over here to confirm his identity.
He's been possibly found out by the Hive Rebellion. I just hand Chivalry the note.
There's a lot of work. No one
Chivalry-
said that babysitting this fucking door for an hour is gonna be so much work. Like, how could it be that like a fucking creepy stalker group shows up and then this happens?
I rolled on the random encounter table and rolled bad.
There's no random encounter table.
Yeah, don't lie to me. Nothing's random in life. It's all
the
chosen
one
by
where
some
erasure
god
shows up
overload.
is on it. I made it in V1.
Why would you do this?
Coincidence is real and
Erasure
coincidence
shows
hates
up.
us.
Just like, what are you doing here? Why are you in the poor section?
I actually
feel
did
like-
plan for that scene. The answer is this town is the only one with half decent Cajun food.
Ah,
that tracks.
That's fair. That's fair.
Chivalry reads the note, and I'm assuming if Karen has high perception, he'd see the he'd see the black discs of plastic inside the wiggly eyes or the googly eyes get a lot smaller for a quarter second. Shock, horror, and then he composes himself.
So, do we wait for the smarter people?
Yeah, you know, I wanted Chivalry to enter into this conversation because he's one of the adults of the group, but I actually don't know how much he knows either.
2 men, a teddy bear, standing there. I think we wait, right? Well, I mean, how quickly can that hive agent come over, right?
I mean, I reckon that's not a decent question to ask, considering the general speed at which people have been showing up here.
That's true. I did not expect someone to walk through the walls. What if we tell them, give us an hour? It's an hour, right, Sam? Out of
There's
character.
only like 40 minutes left on that clock from your perspective.
Okay,
now.
so give us like 50 minutes, 10 minutes to brief them, right? Because I'm sure it'd take 10 minutes for us to explain everything, right? That happened.
Is it possible that one of us should just go in there and find Mr. President?
I thought we weren't allowed to open the door.
If you open the door, that would let the time out.
The time out.
Maybe we shouldn't open the door.
All right.
Timekeeper has like a list of rules and like requirements on the door. If you can reference.
I referenced the list of rules.
1, don't
Don't-
open the door. 2.
Okay,
Set no
number-
alarms within 10 feet of the door. 3. Do not mock the door.
The door.
The alarm one
The
is
third rule is going to
interesting.
be hard, but so it says don't open the door though, Chivalry.
All right. I guess let's ask if he can have them wait an hour, so that we have perhaps 20 minutes to explain to people what's happening here.
Okay.
And Chivalry turns to where Skateboard Kid is. I'm assuming, is Skateboard Kid on the wall or is he on the floor?
On the floor currently.
Chivalry turns to face them either way and says, if we offer him an emergency evacuation, is that a thing you could actually do for him?
Skater Kid holds up a piece of paper when you blink, saying, "I can't take people into the painted realm, just objects."
Can you take him the cigarette? And I'm going to hand him the cigarette.
Skater Kid immediately begins smoking.
No. All right, that one's for you. But give this
He's
one to
doubled
him.
over, coughing, crying.
Chivalry
You shouldn't
asks.
smoke. It's bad for you.
Chivalry
Makes your
asks.
dick small, apparently.
I don't like to admit
Lights a
this, but
cigarette.
He spray paints. It does.
Yeah, makes your dick small. I light a
He
cigarette.
cries harder.
Okay, Skater Kid. Is there any other people within the painted world?
Painted world? No.
Tell us about your secret painted
so
world.
why do you care?
Like he can't evacuate.
No. Like, the other thing.
Skater Kid now realizes
you're
he's
gonna-
deeply alone. He curls up into a ball.
We can always draw him.
You guys joined the Skater Kid.
We can
Chivalry
always
leans
get him.
forward,
We can find a painted girlfriend.
his mouth, and
New
says,
mission.
You said you can't take people with you. I don't like to admit it, but I'm a little more complicated than other people. Can I enter the painted world?
Skater Kid shrugs, reaches out a hand, says, "Close your eyes."
All right, Chivalry closes his eyes.
You feel a hand grab yours, and it's like being dragged into pure liquid mercury. It feels like you're just not dense enough to get beneath the surface. Like you can breach the film, but you can't get any depth.
All right.
So either way, listen, Skater Kid, we're gonna find you a girlfriend. That's the new mission. That's what me and Karenade can do right now. That's right. Or boyfriend.
We have 40
Or-
minutes.
Or they can choose their own gender.
Again, we have 40 minutes to find this.
Skater Kid's already left.
All right, Amp. Why don't you go outside?
You've literally made him feel lonely.
Why don't you go outside and start drawing something and see if there's a rock you can also make cry?
I didn't make him upset. Why are you blaming this on me? I pointed at Karen. He's the one that made the teleporting painting upset.
I had questions about his priorities.
Okay, well, he didn't want to notice his lonely existence, okay?
We all have to notice we're alone at some point in time.
No, you've always got me.
All right,
Ouch. Okay, Skater Kid comes back with a letter. Reginald says, "Yeah, no problem, guys. Worst case scenario, they just kill me, but, we both know that's, a 5-minute reset for me. I'll just continue making balloon animals for my life. See you soon. Or not. Reginald."
What? Okay. Why did we send everyone, smart in there again? At least
Okay,
Candyman
point
could
of-
have done.
point of order, we didn't send them anywhere. They went in there of their own volition.
You're right on that, but couldn't like if the Candyman could have figured out something more than we did.
Candyman can.
Okay, so we're gonna cut back to Seth.
Which
version
one?
of me?
Candyman? We're cutting back to
We're
Candyman.
cutting back to we're cutting back to Charlie. The cattails you've tried based on the DM. Charlie's been trying to crack open the cattails and pollen to try and make fire starters. Nothing doing. They're as soon as they're exposed to the open air, they start taking in moisture. There's definitely a process that can be done to get these dry and get them to work as a usable fire starter, but
All right.
Charlie is missing a step somewhere.
All right, I'm gonna look around the immediate area, and I'm not even rolling for this because I'm fairly certain the answer is no. Do I see the materials available to make a Delver rune?
No.
Okay.
Lose a will, but no. No, I'm joking. It's starting to get dark.
It's not already?
Like nighttime dark, not overcast dark. Like you came in at night, some shit happened, and the night cycle starts fucked up here.
Okay. I'm fairly certain cattails are edible, so I'm just gonna start eating the stalk.
All right.
Notably not the powder part.
You still have the issue of water. You need to get that solved before the end of tomorrow. You could just drink dirty water if you want to roll those dice.
I kind of don't. Like, I super don't want to do that. Can I take a cattail and try and, like, wring it out and see if that will pour into the cup? Like, if I try and break it and squeeze, mash that into liquid? Because that should have a fair
Make a
amount of
survival
internal
check
water.
with, like 4 bonus dice.
If I don't have a match here, I might scream. Is that 2 9s? No. Yes, 2 9s and 2 2s. So 2 9s.
Okay, it takes you hours. You wring out water from these things, and you have to kind of decant them off of a stone. Like you have to get a stone, get it clean, and then squeeze the water out on that. The sediment collects on the rock. You see streaks, but the water going into the cup is roughly clean. You would still ideally want to boil this, but you feel like it takes you hours because you have to wring out dozens of these cattails. But eventually you get like a cup full of water.
Okay, that's better than nothing.
It's kind of cloudy.
I'm gonna see if I can figure out. So, I mean, how dry is the stuff that I've wrung out now? I'm assuming not very.
It's like a wet rag after you've wrung it out.
Okay. I'm gonna look at Albert and be like, and just like kind of point at the fire, and he's been watching me do this.
Albert is submersed in the mud. He seems very comfortable.
Okay. Has he been doing anything to drink? Or does he just kind of absorb water? I don't know how spiders drink.
He drank a crab.
Okay.
He can just use his fangs.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Do you ask Albert for help in any regard, or?
I will quietly like see if I can get him to help. I don't know if he knows English, although they are very smart. So I'll do like a can you help like signal.
He's going to draw like a he's going to draw like a hexagon of web on a stone. He's going to raise his little foreleg, hit the fire starter as hard as he can, and the spider web's going to burn for just a second.
Can I have a bunch of that like under this cup? And I'm gonna like put the rest of the like dry cattail heads where that should go?
The spiderweb only burns for a second. He can't make much mass, but
That should be enough to dry and light these. I feel like there can't be that much moisture in them, right?
all right.
I am back.
Make a survival check. If you can do taking your time for this to get up to 2 bonus dice.
Okay. Any default bonus dice or no?
Gain 1 from Albert helping you.
Okay. That is 2 10s.
All right. You think about it a little bit. You get some. You tear out one of your socks. They're kind of dry from the being in the boot. You just tear out a little bit. You begin rolling. You cover your palms in the cloth. Begin rolling the cattails to squeeze out the water. Get the powder or pollen and fibers on the spider web. Hit it, and it catches pretty decently. You're gonna have to keep feeding them a bunch of cattails, but you have dozens you've squeezed out.
Yeah.
This won't burn all night, not without you waking up every hour or so. But if you want to put something more substantial on it, you could probably keep it burning. There are bamboos.
I feel like, so bamboo, is fine as long as I make sure that I crack it before I put it on the fire, otherwise it will explode.
I'm gonna say roll an athletics check to see how much you can break down before your body gives out.
Okay. I also was thinking of just tearing some of the, what'd you call it? Fern-like stuff, fronds on there, because if there's enough...
One of those are fireproof.
Gotcha. Okay. Fireproof?
There's like
Okay.
They're like waxy more than plant.
I will see how comfortable the knife is piercing into those, because if there is any like pressure release, then it's fine to put the
the bamboo, as long as you hit a joint, it cracks open just fine.
Okay.
I will say, as Charlie's doing this, you notice you're holding the knife different. You begin feeling weirdly more comfortable doing this, as if you're remembering something.
Okay.
You stare as you build the fire. You look at the knife, and for the first time in a very long time, when's the last time you thought about getting stabbed in the eye?
Define stabbed.
When you got your eye taken out, when's the last time you, like Charlie, has thought of the incident?
Probably before the crossover event.
I'm back, sorry.
You kind of get a glassy feeling thinking back to the memory. The details aren't really solid anymore. You realize the moment's a little bit off in your memory. And as you think back against the hours of your life before you had the eye put in, you realize certain moments are reflected where they shouldn't be. Certain moments are repeated and some are covered up. As you picture the timeline of your life, you have a flashback to the first time you saw the eye develop spikes going into your brain, and you think, man, it's good I stopped that before anything happened. But you realize every single time a moment in your life would have led you to kind of think about the eye, you realize moments of your life have been reflected to cover up certain things that would make you more distrusting of the eye. Moments reflected, moments refracted. You realize that your past, your memories, you are a kaleidoscope. An image turned and reflected. You're not sure if this was done towards any ends or if it was like the start of a process, but whatever the eye did, it has kind of knocked a few memories loose. You're not sure if it got anything important yet, but there's definitely more at stake than just the thing going back in your skull if this thing gets if this thing gets to you first.
Gotcha.
You're not sure if you've had moments where you were a survivalist. You realize you've had moments where it would make sense for you to do this stuff, but you never really thought of it before.
Mm-hmm.
Just so we don't run over on this scene, you feel a presence, a third person, as the fire is built. Oslo pops in for a moment.
Were you laughing at me trying to make a fire all day?
No, I'm not. We've all started here. We weren't hardcore survivalists when the levee broke. We were just people who didn't know what to eat, how to make a fire. Trust me, it was exactly like you are right now. That's the lesson we're trying to teach. Now, one thing I do want to make clear, because I don't think this is intuitive, that thing out there in the distance, this lesson isn't about fighting it. This environment is inhospitable to both of you. There will be a confrontation. It's going to be who's weaker at that point, who's bled and lost more.
I see.
That being said, I would highly recommend you try and hide your fire.
Oh, I did say I remember I said this earlier. I was trying to make the fire under some of the
Oh, I missed
bronze.
that. Roll stealth check for me while you're doing that. Oslo will help. He'll give you 1 dice.
Yeah, I was originally doing that to boil it, but I guess I should have been clear that I wanted to keep doing that. So
No
is
worries.
this?
Yeah, you can do either just a normal stealth check or a mind plus stealth check, depending on how you want to go about this.
Normal stealth check gives me 1 more dice, so I will do that one.
Okay. So Oslo's going to keep talking. He's going to go, so that thing out there was probably used to make your eye. It has what's called an incomplete or improper binding. Binding is an art very similar to runecraft. I can't teach you full-on runecraft, but I can teach you the basics of binding. 2 ones will be the check, okay? Essentially, the most basic form of binding is you have a supernatural entity either given to a prior contract or basically you beat this thing, you bind it to a contract, you gain its power. Step 1 was done with the eye, but they missed steps 2 through 6.
I see.
To make sure this thing goes back in you safely, because unfortunately you two are connected now, you're gonna have to find a way to drain it completely. Once it's inert, you'll have all the power in the negotiation.
Gotcha. So, can you run me through 2 through 6 real quick?
Well,
Or do I need to find those myself?
step 1 has to be repeated. This thing has to be drained and put into an inert state. From there, we can go over steps 2 through 6 safely. That being said, to keep this test honest, I have to let this happen. And Oslo is gone.
Wait, hold up like a piece of the cattail. Oh wait, I was going to offer you some of this. It tastes really bad. Wait, I'm probably in danger, and I'm gonna get up
Make a
and
perception check for me.
Nope.
All right. So the smoke coming off of the fire is really black, and the night is closing in fast. Someone who does make their perception check is Albert. Albert tears himself out of the earth and begins making a vibrating kind of clicking noise. So you will not be surprised. This thing won't get a free attack on you. You see this creature of like living smoke, shadow, pure white eyes, teeth glimmering is like pure ivory, as it looks kind of like a wolf coalesce out of the smoke. It doesn't seem like it's being summoned by the smoke so much as the smoke is the only thing letting you see it in the dark.
So it's letting me see it rather than forming it, is what it looks like?
Correct.
Okay. Interesting. I am going to kind of like watch Albert and see how he's moving in response to this thing rather than form my own response.
Albert has prepared an action to strike. You see there's a second of the smoke of the these things are called the Hounds of Day. I'm just gonna throw it out there. One charges at Albert. You see it phase through like smoke going around his strings, hitting him firmly in the abdomen. You see bite marks invisibly appearing on Albert as his exoskeleton is punctured and he's thrown across the clearing.
So it has piercing. Shouldn't matter for me.
Um,
I'm going to, in response with what he's trying to do, try and shoot one of these with my wrist bow.
Okay, are you shooting the one closing in on you or the one going after Albert? Because this thing does declare before you, it's just going to make an attack on you.
I suppose I will attempt to shoot the one that was closing in on me.
Okay, I need to know your width and what level of go first you have.
Good question and good question. I need to figure out exactly how much I roll, so I do have +1 go first. Which is nice. And, I think I'm going to try and use a paralytic bolt.
Okay, just let me know what your width is.
Oh, I don't actually know how many of those I have.
It's going to be at least one wiggle dice plus your coordination.
Wait, I have a wiggle dice?
You should, and Whaler's trained you.
Wait, that gave me a wiggle dice? I thought that gives me normal dice.
Should be a wiggle dice.
Oh, shoot. Okay. So I have 2 dice and weapon wrist bow. Should those both be wiggle dice or just one of them?
Just one should be a wiggle dice. I think you bought one.
Okay.
Does that apply to everyone who has wrist bow training?
Yes.
I totally thought that was a normal dice.
I probably misspoke when I gave it to you.
So that's weapon, wrist bow, and coordination, right?
Yes.
Ooh, 2 10s. What about 3 10s?
All right. So you throw the dart at this thing. The dart connects directly with its skull, and it's like it goes through a cloud of smoke. You see its silhouette collapse and shift. Next thing you know, its jaw reforms on your leg, having covered 30 feet in an instant. You're going to take 2 killing to the right leg.
Ouch.
It looks like these
Does
things
it-
have some form of phasing or intangibility.
Okay. Does it seem like it was damaged by that?
No, the attack went right through it. You have to think of some other way of hurting it.
Okay.
Physical attacks don't seem to do much to this thing. You notice Albert isn't even trying to attack these things. He's just basically using his webs to scuttle as hard as he can.
To do what as hard as he can?
Like he's throwing webs onto the reeds and pulling himself. He's just moving as fast as he can.
Interesting.
he's getting pretty torn up, though. Okay, so speaking of pretty torn up, while you think about that, we're going to cut back to Bill. Bill, you wake up. It's day 3 for you.
I see.
You are in the garment room you saw in the dark rooms.
Okay.
You see Corey with the heart organ thing on ice next to him, a bottle of champagne next to it.
When you say on ice, you mean it's in the champagne bucket?
Yes.
Okay.
Corey has his fingers steepled as you wake up, and he immediately goes, "So, first things first, I feel like I owe you an apology. I should have intervened before you came to harm, and I really should have familiarized myself with your situation before putting you in a public-facing position. You got hurt because I didn't, and that is unacceptable. I'm sorry."
I don't particularly mind. I'm just kind of shocked it hurt me permanent. Would you happen to know what that is?
If I had to guess, it's a mix between a heart and a lymph node system.
I could have sworn that I was more redundant than that. If you take a stethoscope, there was at least 7 hearts in there. I didn't think there was any one thing that could take me out like that.
I don't think it was the what was taken out. It was the who that did it. I think your tooth might be having an influence on this environment.
I thought that was part of the test, to be honest. It has been. There's not enough here. There's not enough reality around us. It's starting to think its own thoughts and try to enforce itself. I thought that's part of what you were testing for.
It was the eventual goal, but it's working a bit faster than intended. Alright. So, I have a few points to cover, but first things first. Your, for lack of a better word, heart. I didn't want to do this without your consent. We could put this heart back. I have it on ice. It's only been a few hours. It should still be good, given how durable this thing looks. That would essentially put you back to normal, same as you were before it was taken out. Or I could have this little fella here. He points to the massive shifting black fabric and meat that was one of his hats. It's a mimic. It tenses up at that, doesn't like being called out. I could have it be a heart and have your body kind of grow around it normally. I would just have to finish the stitching.
Bill kind of lies there for a while thinking about that.
I can't guarantee you'll get back everything you had, but
after a few minutes, without looking at Corey, he says, "Put the original back. I don't want anyone else to be drowning in this god's mind."
I can destroy this. If anything, I worry that giving you the original back might make it stronger. But if that's your reasoning, if you just want it back, I understand.
I don't know what the mimic is, but I don't want anyone else to have to fight against this.
Well, it wouldn't. It would be you. They don't have self-preservation. They don't have sentience like we do.
Bill will turn his electroperception onto the mimic.
Right now, it is just a human heart.
And not actually what just came out.
It is not the heart organelle, no. It is.
Okay.
It is just straight up a human heart that has some weird connections to make up for your jank biology.
Okay.
I have the wizard broom.
Do I currently have the healing factor?
You do not. It seems like your healing factor is tied to the organelle.
So does he lose the healing factor if he doesn't take it back?
Corey will show you a trick to get healing back, but it's gonna be different. May not be as good for your build. How many? I will just for full disclosure. How many points does your healing cost?
My healing cost 6 points.
Okay, you would full disclosure. You would get a healing ability, and you would get about 2 points back.
Would that healing ability be as good as always on? Is it always on? No, it's not always on. It's just 3 hard dice, 3 shock killing every hit location per round.
Okay, so full disclosure, what it would be is Corey would show you how to stitch your own heart back in, and he would give you an ability called Midnight Alms, which is essentially you just take some thread, take some needle. It heals with and shock and killing. Stitches break if you take damage, but it does have engulf.
Hey, just one thing to consider about this. Does your bite not have backfire?
It does. So Bill will think about this again after Corey describes exactly what he might teach him. And he'll say, I truly don't know what the limits of the thing in the tooth are. I don't want to risk it getting the mimic powers too. Just put the original back.
Understood. He gestures, the mimic kind of flows back into his hand, becomes a hat, he places it on his head, and...
You know I want to watch that happen. I want electro perception on that the instant it starts moving. I gotta know.
So this thing is 99% neural tissue, weirdly enough. In the moment it is moving, it is alive. The second it becomes a hat, it's just a hat.
Whack.
He just unceremoniously picks up the organelle, drops it into your gaping chest wound, closes up instantly, no change.
All right. Bill gets up out of the bed, does a bit of a shift of his shoulders, and says, all right, suppose it's time we get back to work then.
Well, first things first. It's lunchtime. He uncorks the champagne and goes, do you mind a liquid lunch?
Bill does not mind at all.
Okay. We are required to take breaks. He offers you a flute of champagne.
Bill gladly accepts it.
I'll remind you that your lunches have been probably Creole flavored candy for the past however long you've been here.
Bill, before Corey can drink his, Bill throws the flute back, takes his flask scout, and removes the toast with that and Corey's champagne flute.
He clinks it. Okay, so we're gonna have to adjust the lesson plan here. I'm trying to think of contradictions to this thing.
Have you actually introduced new people to this space, or what exactly was that?
I think it was the tooth trying to take something. I don't know. I mean, have you noticed that it's been glowing a little bit the entire time you've been here?
It pretty much always does. And Bill will take out of the pocket a very carefully knitted, very tiny sock. So I have to put this on it so I can sleep.
I have a bad habit of personalizing inanimate objects. Does it seem upset by you being here?
And here's the time where I tell everyone that Bill doesn't have any native empathy or anything, so I don't know if he could tell that.
In what sense?
Okay, just bog standard sense. Alright. No matches, but Bill will say that I don't really know if it's upset, but the guy had broken pupils. That's a thing that happens to me sometimes when I get stronger.
Okay.
That guy probably did belong to the tooth.
In that case, we're gonna do the reasonable thing. And we're going to work on what we know works. Seems like this thing can be scared off. So it's a good mix of intimidation and self-determination. Good thing we're in garments. I can... Well... I'll tell you what. We'll work on intimidation. We'll do a few protection jobs for the local shops. And then I take you to the midnight dance floor. We'll, get you used to the speakers.
Alright.
At the very least, it should give you an edge on anything that thing throws at you. Hopefully.
Only hope.
I will say, we didn't conquer 5 points by being the strongest gang. Not even necessarily the smartest, toughest, fastest. We just knew how to prepare for certain threats. If you know anything that can help me get a read on this thing, let me know, okay? Otherwise, I'm just as in the dark as you are.
Alright. I try not to think about it too clearly, and a lot of what I know about it sort of flows in one ear out the other, if you catch my meaning. I figure something out, and it's just gone if I don't keep holding on to it. If I can find anything more, I will tell you.
It wouldn't happen to have a religious aspect to it, would it?
Yes. That I can tell you for certain.
Well, I'm not going to pretend we don't have our fair share of cults down here in 5 Points. Clowns, Dionysians, acolytes of Mother Dark. We just don't keep it forward-facing because it's uncivilized. I'll see if I can't dig up anything. In the meantime, we have about 15 minutes more on break. I'm gonna get more champagne.
Alright. Bill pulls out his other flask.
Second flask. Alright.
Same as the old flask.
So, Corey's gonna spend
Weird noise sort of flask to make.
Corey's gonna spend this time teaching you how the Under Armour works. So, you can develop these skills later, but essentially you can throw the overcoat as a bind. If you dodge, the Under Armour acts as light armor. And let's see here. The shoes are great for they are a no-slip shoe. If you're on a wet surface, they will help you stay afloat, and also you can walk on walls and the ceiling.
Alright.
You can spend
Is this suit a mimic?
According to ElectroSense, no.
Do I have a better... Now that I've observed a mimic in its native form, do I have a better chance of being able to tell?
You're not sure. As far as you can
Okay.
gather, once these things shift, they basically are the thing.
Alright.
Okay. The next thing you're gonna do is basically sleep. Corey's gonna offer you a chance for you to sleep for a little bit if you need the recovery. Otherwise, he's just gonna ask if you want to go to the dance floors to get some sound training in, or if you want to do the shops first.
Bill doesn't really need to sleep and says, let's try the shops.
All right. Those are going to be uneventful for 8 hours. That brings us into day 4 for you. We're going to cut to, I believe, day like 3.5 for propulsion. Going into 4 at least. All right. So, Bob, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Cool. The floor is beginning to become molten. The obsidian and iron workings of the floor, the kiln is finally starting to get to them. The structural supports are starting to go. You basically just have obsidian platforms suspended in molten iron. You can fly, but you fly using fire, which might negatively affect your heat. And I do want to remind you, if you hit 100 heat before the 7 days are up, you basically lose everything and you get hurt. Bat stops it right there.
Alright, I'm gonna try and keep myself on some stable ground then.
Okay. Bat. Do you take any like precautionary actions to try and I will say, if you're taking an action, you can do multiple actions with endurance to basically to cut the heat cost in half. So like if you're doing a dodge, you can do multiple actions, dodge and endurance. If you get 2 sets, even if you roll 10 dice with the endurance check, you can say, okay, that only counts for 5. I say that as Bats is going to declare first. He's going to keep his sense lower than yours. Bats is going to hit a flaming iron ball at you.
I'm gonna dodge the flaming iron ball.
Alright, are you doing the endurance check or are you just doing full dodge? And if so, how many dice are you rolling?
Full dodge.
Okay.
I'm gonna roll... five dice.
Okay. I will say, I'll let you spend willpower to add the taking your time dice. They won't count towards your heat.
How can I take my time? But I have to dodge now. I can't take my time.
No, it's because willpower takes that slot. That's all I'm...
Oh, well, I rolled 3 10s.
Oh, shit. Alright,
Wiggle, dice, and dodge. Wiggle, dice, and dodge.
The perfect plan. 40% of the time, it works every time.
Alright, Bat's only rolled, like, 3 7s. So, yeah. You dodge the flame. As it hits the obsidian platform you're on, a few cracks appear. Bats is going to stop. He's going to get an idea. And as Bats said, he's going to get harder every day. Bats is going to start taking 2 actions per day now. He is going to make a melee attack on the obsidian platform you're on.
I'm gonna block it.
Oh.
I don't have block. Never mind.
Oh. When every sentence worries you more than the last.
I don't know why I don't have block. Maybe I was going for more of a like a butterfly sting, like a bee boxer instead of. Yeah.
Fancy.
And that's why I put 2 wiggle dice and dice.
Fuck in the fridge. I don't know. Okay.
I'm gonna punch the bat to stop it.
Okay. We'll basically treat this as, damage knocking off a dice. We'll count it for. Tell you what, you can do an unarmed maneuver to try and disarm bats.
Okay.
So take a penalty dice, and you can roll unarmed. Remember, your current heat is going to be at 6 because of the kiln.
Alright, I can roll 4 and be fine.
Don't you want to stay under 10?
I can roll 3 and be fine.
I'm going to say right now, you're going to have a round to respond to the obsidian breaking.
Oh wait, my brawl has 3 levels of go first, right.
Oh, hell yeah. Awesome, alright.
So that's 3 10s with 3 levels of go first.
Alright, yeah, Bats only rolled 4. So you take his weapon before he connects. You have to moderate yourself super hard because you're essentially working. It's like punching through a hurricane right now. But as Bats brings down his arm, you block with your elbow. The momentum levers the bat out of his hand. You bring your hand back and grab it. The iron, it's red hot, but so you have to drop it. But the bat goes skittering into the molten iron and explodes. That ends your day with you at 9 heat, I believe.
Hold on, do I have to add all the heat together?
Yes.
Like, so I'm at 30 heat from, like, all together.
Yes, that's your progress towards the 100. But you're now on day 4, so you're still technically under budget. You're still under budget, yeah.
Wait, hold on. There's only 7 days, and at max I can gain 10 heat a day, right?
Well,
Like, I can gain above 10 heat, but it stops gaining after 10.
no, you can gain more than 10 a day. It's just you're going to have to make an endurance check every time, and Bats has been limiting himself to one spurt. He's only been doing 1 action per day until this point.
I mean, I still need 70 heat.
Okay.
Good luck. Don't ride that confidence.
Didn't he say the more heat you had by the end of it, though, as long as it wasn't 100, the better the reward?
Correct.
So when I had like 99.
Okay.
So I need 69 more heat!
You have summoned Nishot, the most powerful creature.
Alright. Bob, your thermal vision is blinded for a second as your body kind of adjusts to the level of heat you're at. The shimmering of air around you becomes more controlled as your heat venting becomes more like you kind of get your feet under, you get your sea legs. You can kind of turn on a heat aura that deals damage to everyone around you. Bats no longer can safely enter melee, even if he's careful with his rolls anymore.
So I have Bloody
Here's our
Retribution and Heat Aura.
Yes. Day 4. From here on out, Bats is going to start taking 3 actions per day, and then 4, and then 5. All right.
What did I say about that confidence?
So we're going to cut to Charlie.
And I will be right
What
back.
did I say about that confidence?
So the Hound of Day is currently trying to... Oh, an effect I forgot to mention. When the Hounds of Day bite your leg, your movement speed is reduced to 1 yard per round. So you can get that healed.
Ideal. What is the physical composition of this thing?
It looks like it's made of smoke and shadow.
So, did it seem like it disliked the fire being lit, or did it seem like that helped it?
They definitely didn't attack you until the fire was lit. And based on how Oslo spoke, it seemed like these things showing up for fire was a given.
Okay. So what I'm gonna do, because I think this will make it easier, I'm going to use my dustpan to slosh water onto the fire.
If you do that, you'll have to deal with the effects of hypothermia tonight.
Hypothermia is technically a disease, right?
Not really, but
It's a condition.
what were you thinking?
Sweet tooth candy does disease.
No, that was
Okay.
no.
Um, hmm.
The
How
effects of
big is my fire?
hypothermia, by the way, you're gonna lose half your willpower.
Yeah. Yeah, I know it's bad. How big is that fire that I have going?
It's pretty small. It's like a small bonfire.
What is the composition of the cup that I have?
It looks like iron, or it's like steel or something.
Okay. Does the cup fit over the fire?
It does.
Okay. I'm going to use the obsidian knife to keep it from making a seal, but I'm going to try and place the cup over the fire so that it's mostly hidden
All right.
without cutting off all of the oxygen.
There's some orange on the fringe of the glass, or sorry, cup. I mean.
Mhm.
You see these things lit up only in slivers. Towards the distance, you see as the light radius is massively diminished, the Hounds of Day mauling Albert disappear completely.
Good.
There's just the one near you.
I am going to pop a regeneration candy and start moving away from the light source.
All right. Yeah, the distance is enough that you can just kind of throw yourself, pop the healing candy, and scramble over. This thing can't get too far away from the fire. The issue is the cup is slowly, very slowly, it will eventually starve the fire of oxygen.
Yeah,
And you're not getting much heat this way.
but this gives me some breathing room.
Yes.
Okay. Uh-oh, what is this?
God damn it, Tom. Do you want us to cut so you some time to think about it?
Can I start another fire?
I'm not sure you have enough cat. Well, actually, you already have a fire started. It would just be a simple matter of lighting a cattail on fire and then getting it to some bamboo.
Yeah, I want to,
It would take
I want
you.
to.
It would take you like an hour, but yeah.
Okay. My thought is start another fire elsewhere and then come back to this one. I don't know that that's a good idea, though. Yeah, if you wouldn't mind cutting to another scene so I can think.
Okay. We're gonna cut to Mr. President and Sweet Tooth. Orange is kneeling over your research lab, staring at it intently.
My research lab?
Yeah, there's just a research lab here.
Yeah, I knew I knew I had a research lab, but I meant he's looking at my research lab. Hey, how can I help you? Amber, right? Amber?
Orange.
That was more of a question to you, Sam.
Yeah, it's orange.
Oh, orange. Okay, orange. Can I help you? What's up?
Would your men like to use the power of the sun?
I'm sure they could harness it. Let me ask. And I'll pick up the officer and let him talk to Orange.
The officer nods, looks at you, and goes, "Sir, I don't know how to tell you this, but I don't speak Spanish."
It's okay, I do. I'll act as a translator.
Okay.
I speak every language, Sam.
So Orange is basically proposing, all right, so I use my gun. I make big sun. You research how to siphon that. We put tiny suns inside your guns.
So, just a nuclear reactor, basically.
Why must you take the magic out of life?
Hey, I mean, it's what it is, right? Either way, I'll start explaining plans to the soldier on like what to do to harness the power of the sun.
Alright. Orange is gonna stop working on candy, and he's just gonna start helping with the research project.
Do you want me to roll mine for how well that goes?
Yeah, go for it. Add the bonus dice for Orange helping you.
5 tens.
Alright. The research lab goes, okay, we have a prototype. Orange basically, they built like this pillar with like a, you know those like Spencer Gifts plasma orbs where you touch the thing? Like a lightning bolt touches your finger?
Yeah.
Okay, so basically Orange puts a bullet in there, it lights up. It's like veins of pouring molten iron, but it's plasma. Get vented into like these battery packs that the soldiers wear on their back. They have like these glass assault rifle giant tubes. They can beam plasma. It's like, all right, seems like it's the soldier immediately explodes, vaporizes everything in 10 yards around him.
All right, gonna have to modify those plans. So, are you giving me 40k laser weapons?
I'm giving you the potential for them.
Well, now, you know that's my favorite 40k army. It's just the infinitesimal amount of infantry sent to their direction.
We're gonna make the Imperial Guard. You're gonna
We
start
are making
from
the
50s
Imperial
Army
Guard.
men. You're just gonna start pulling out Warhammer 40k models, and Games Workshop's gonna fucking kill you in real life. All right.
Look, I don't care how much money goes through Market Street, they still can't afford 40k pieces.
That's true. They can't afford 40k. Okay.
Remember, guy has an army, he just stole it.
So I guess I'll focus on like trying to reduce the heat coming out of the barrel, maybe as a way to like stop them from exploding, or maybe or as more of a containment thing.
Your researchers are gonna say, okay, very powerful, lot of flaws. 1, these things run out of energy after like 3 shots. 2, the energy cells on the back, if they get even so much as dinged, they will detonate. And 3, they kind of work more like flamethrowers. We don't have a good focusing lens. We don't have the ground research to build a good focusing lens. We don't really know optics. Reminder, Violet from the Vaqueros is an optics scientist.
Okay, 1 second. Notes, Sam. I'm going to notes. God, researches. There we go. Violet.
Yep. And finally, the main flaw is we can't generate our own suns. If we don't have Orange here pumping out plasma for us, we're gonna run dry in a couple hours max. We might be able to build reactors out of these, though.
The reactors would be a good start. Learning how to generate a sun. We can do that later.
All right.
Wait, so orange isn't a combat thing for the Vaqueros. They just exclusively, like, they're a fuel source?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah,
Sick.
I mean, he's great in combat. Don't get me wrong, but
but he's better as a fuel source.
do
Yeah.
you think they power those bikes?
I just kind of assumed they only needed to be fueled up once. Fucking city future science magic bullshit.
True. All right.
Like the idea of I need to gas up my Vespa. Let's go collapse Tau Ceti real quick.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so we're gonna cut. I don't even know how to transition from that. Okay. Land of Fire and Flames. Going through them. Summoning the Dragon Force. We're gonna cut to propulsion. I believe it was the 4th day. 5th? No. 4th. I didn't increment the timer. Why am I like this? Okay. You did 30. So, okay, yeah, we're on day 4. Okay, Bob?
Yeah.
Bats has caught his breath. He's got his heat under him again. He is going to activate... You know what? Fuck it. He's going to activate his own Burning Blood. He's going to get some bonuses to body. He is now faster, tougher, has a healing factor. And this, most importantly, a little bit faster. That's going to be his round. Every round that passes now, since Bats is now putting off his own heat aura, every round, in addition to the one from the kiln, you're going to gain 1 heat. So you're starting at 1 because of the kiln. This is the first round. It triggers. Even though you're not taking damage, you're going to take 1 heat, and that's going to increase as Bats gets warmed up. So right now you're at 2 heat. But that's the first action. Do you do anything this round?
No, because that generates heat.
Okay. Bats is going
I'm
to use
going
his
to
second-
prepare.
Okay. We're going to count this as taking your time. So you get a free dice that doesn't generate heat you can roll next round. Okay?
Okay.
Second round, Bats is going to try and smash the obsidian platform again.
I think I'm gonna jump off it this time.
Alright, are you using your flames, or are you going to try and do an athletics to try and hop on one of the nearby pillars and try and cling to it?
I'm gonna try and do an athletics.
Alright. Roll for me, let me know how this goes.
Three fives.
3 5s. You have to time it perfectly, but as Bats smashes his fist into the platform, you manage to get onto one of the slivers that breaks in such a way that it helps launch you a little bit as it goes up like the Titanic. You jump at just the right moment, scrabble on top of one of the nearby pillars. The shockwave kind of knocks it a little bit askew. You feel like it's going to collapse in... Probably not today, but it's like the Leaning Tower of Pisa. It's going to go down eventually if not supported. Bats is going to do a running leap, and he's going to just dive kick the tower. Bats unfortunately gasses out doing that action. But, yeah, it was his last round anyway. He does a leaping kick, takes out a chunk of the tower. The first thing you're going to need to do next round is you're going to need to hop off or find a way to get somewhere safe.
I still have an action this round, right? Because
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh shit!
unless
you
he
do.
took multiple actions
Yeah,
for the
you do
punching
have an
the,
action. I miscounted.
and also I take another 2, so I'm at 8 heat.
1, 2, 3, 4. You rolled 4.
I rolled
Yes.
4 dice.
Yes, you did. Okay, yeah, you're at 8 heat.
We go again.
We're hitting 10 heat? Okay. Alright. If you don't care about heat, you can just use your flame powers. You can easily fly to the top of another pillar. That'll be like 5 heat generated.
5 heat generated.
If you use your flames to hop to another pillar, if you want to do that.
Oh, I was gonna roll 5 dice, so yeah.
Alright, fair enough.
Let's fly.
Okay.
Let's make it a sure thing instead of just rolling 5 dice.
Alright. You go to activate your flames. You feel the skin around your arms blister and break. And instead of flame, like the flames kick on for a second, but the next thing that launches you is just basically pressurized blood coming out of the cracks in your hand. You launch yourself using like a bloody stream, just launching yourself to the top of a nearby pillar. I'm gonna need you to make an endurance check though.
3 10s.
Hold on. Okay, you succeeded the last one. So, the more you fail, the easier they get. The more you succeed, the harder they get. 3 10s. No, okay, we need 4 now. So that does not go. The difficulty needed is now 3 8s. Okay. So, you. Okay. No. We're gonna do this right. Okay. So, the wounds on your arm are basically cauterized improperly. You're gonna be losing a little bit of blood. It's not gonna matter much, but over the course of a couple days, it's gonna add up. Every day, you're going to take a cumulative 1 penalty dice to all your rolls.
Alright.
As you get more and more lightheaded from the fighting. Or the blood loss. Which rolls you over to day 5.
With 43 heats.
Alright. Okay. We're going to cut back to Bayou Bill, who is in front of the shop.
All
As
right.
Corey explains, okay, so a key thing we do in 5 points, we crushed most of the gangs early on, but occasionally you have some kids or some groups who try and run a protection scheme on shops under our territory. They smash some things up, they cause a scene. Normally, we like to de-escalate. We like to resolve things non-violently. While that is true for this, under no circumstances can we have these people leaving thinking, okay, we've gotten away with this. If we don't beat them into an inch of their life, which we don't want to do, it gets us in trouble with the law, causes complications down the road, leads to potential escalation. it doesn't quite work. What we need to do is we need to scare them. While that can be accomplished with violence, we're going to try alternate means. So, first things first, we're going to go ahead into the shop here. It's a tea shop. We're going to order a kettle, and we're going to wait.
All right.
All right. So, Bill, do you prefer Beauregard? I never actually asked you. I'm sorry.
I normally just go by Bill, to be honest.
Okay. I have to ask, what is the... You seem to have a talent for intimidating people. I saw that back in the warehouse. Weaknesses I've noticed immediately. You break composure far too soon. You seemed to pick up on that when you dealt with the skinhead on 5 points. If you don't break, it helps. But if you get distracted, they see weakness. They see an opening. When you're intimidating someone, focus on them. All right?
I'm not going to lie to you. I don't really have much practice intimidating people. First time I did it, I took a stance and just pointed at I think it was alive, but I pointed at a tumbleweed and screamed, and that actually worked, and I just kept up with it because I thought it was funny.
Corey's going to stop. He's going to staple his fingers and go, okay. That's a lot to unpack there, friend. That is a lot. You said a tumbleweed?
Yeah, we were in the slums, and the people said, the person at that bar said the tumbleweeds aren't allowed inside. People were scared and didn't know what to do to stop them. I thought it was ridiculous, so I did something ridiculous, and woe unto me, it actually worked.
Okay. So I will say, the trick you employ has some sound tenets behind it. It's very visibly threatening. You know, displays they work in the wild. It's very confusing, which works to your advantage. Ambiguity doesn't necessarily... When people don't understand something or they don't fully have all the information, they fill in the gaps themselves, which is usually scarier than anything you can do. Ambiguity works to your advantage. And 3, it makes a very loud noise, which I cannot understate. Sometimes that's all you need.
All right.
Now, unfortunately, we're going to have to refine that, which doesn't exactly work too well with your tactic. First things first, we're going to keep
I'm
the
on the
ambiguity.
list.
We're going to use words, okay?
All right.
Our position is that these people should not be here. They have transgressed, and we need to walk right up to the line of threatening physical violence without doing so, okay?
Sure.
All right. We're going to do a practice run, okay?
Yeah.
All right, Bill. Threaten me.
Bill looks pensive. Thinks about this. Takes a quick sip of his tea. What kind of tea we have here, by the way?
It's currently green tea, but they have any variety you might like if you'd like to swap it out.
We'll just take another sip of green tea. Put it down and say, I honestly, I think my hang-up is I just feel like I don't actually know you well enough to threaten you effectively. I can't really look at you and think about what would work easily.
Corey smiles, puts down his tea. That is the correct answer. Congratulations. All right. You don't threaten someone by cursing them out or throwing out some generic line. You do your research. So ask questions.
All right. Well, I know you're from 5 Points. Um, you can't see the face I'm making in real life. I'm actually emoting out how some ridiculous thinking stuff here. Arms crossed, leaning back. Well, I'm not. Based on what I know about you, the insult that I would throw is probably not one that's safe for either of us, because I might just bring up something about your hat. And I realize you didn't really ask for an insult, but I'm kind of at a loss here. The just screaming at people was so easy.
That it was. That it was.
Your hat's fine, by the way. I just want to come up with something that wasn't true.
Corey adds like 3 lumps of sugar to it. See, Bill, I want to emphasize you are doing the opposite of threatening right now.
Yeah.
It's tad counterproductive, my friend. All right. If we need to go generic, that's fine. Okay. He's going to put down his tea and go, all right, Bill. I am not here to threaten you. I'm not. He puts a hand on your shoulder, moves it up to your neck. I'm on your side here. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Now, Bill, he leans in. I have to ask, do you feel safe right now? He has stopped blinking. The lights in the shop are beginning to dim.
Markedly less than I did a few moments ago.
And why is that?
The lights are getting dim. You are not blinking. Near as I can tell, your heart is not beating at the moment. Something has changed. You are now an unnerving presence.
He releases your neck, goes, see, you just have to give them things to read if you're being generic. It is more effective if you know your target, but give them things they don't understand. Also, Bertram, thank you. You see Bertram in the back playing with the light switches, gives a thumbs up.
I mean, I'm just imagining Nosferatu in a bowler cap now.
A little bit of pageantry goes a long way, let me tell you. Half of what we do, more than half, is just theatrics, okay?
All right.
It's knowing something we shouldn't because we did our research. It's setting the stage because we own the stage, right? Okay. So the gentlemen walking in here, they're the hangdogs. They're a group that we had conflicts with in the past, drove them out. They're known for they're running with the rabid dogs that used to plague 5 Point streets, right?
Yeah.
They're somewhat feral, not too bright, but if there's enough of them together, they can get organized pretty damn well, right?
Yeah.
They love their dogs unironically. They don't exactly view our clean-cut demeanor as something to appreciate. What would be your opening here?
Well, considering that Bill leans back again. Considering you said I was being pretty friendly, maybe I lean into that.
Okay.
I have a plan. Shall I go test?
All right, if you want to hit play, let's go. Corey leans back. All right.
All right. Bill steps up to one of the hangdogs.
Oh, they enter the shop. There's a cyber dog, a man with a mohawk and like 5 eye patches.
Mm-hmm.
Steps in. Okay, do you cut him off before he speaks? Because he seems
Yes.
surprised to see you guys. Okay, what do you say?
Bill will still his heartbeat. He'll lean forward and with the widest smile he can manage, showing off significantly more teeth than a human should have. He will lean forward and say, "Hello, gentlemen. What brings you to this establishment?" And as he does so, his pupils will break.
Roll intimidation for me.
All right.
And specifically, are you doing it on one person or all of them?
I think just the one who's standing there first. Do you prefer height or width for this?
Height would be better.
2 10s.
Okay. He is so caught off guard that he doesn't even catch the end of what you said. He goes, one of the guys behind him steps up. This is our fucking shop. We own it. We're just taking our cut. Now step the fuck aside.
Bill's smile is even wider. His pupils are still broken, and he just turns to stare at him.
Okay. Roll intimidation on this one, then.
All right. For this guy, I got 3 7s.
He kind of stops a little bit. But you notice the one you've intimidated first immediately begins regaining his nerve a little bit the second you look off of him. And you remember Corey's advice to focus on one instead of, like, getting distracted.
Mm-hmm.
So the one you've stopped, he goes... The one you were intimidating kind of gets his, like, wind back still a bit broken. He's like, yeah, I can't think of anything else to say, can you? And then you realize he's kind of describing himself just as much. He goes, fuck.
Realizing this moment of weakness, Bill will turn back to him and say, "I don't understand what you're talking about. What brings you here today?" Just still smiling, so happy. Skin around his mouth starting to tear a little bit.
All right.
Single tear runs down. Or sorry, that's blood.
You see Corey's reflection in the glass window pane behind them. Corey's just been teaching you some of the FOP sign language they use to communicate in the dark rooms, because, you know, you can't hear each other over the speakers. He does a little symbol for theatrics. He's telling you need to push it a little bit somehow.
Now comes the time where I think of something that isn't just funny. My one weakness. Fuck.
Too funny.
Alright, let me look over what Bill got on his sheet.
Okay.
Alright, at the first guy, the one that he started intimidating, Bill will focus his electrosense on him exclusively. The facial feature, his tympanum, will start noticeably moving as he uses this power, and there'll be a very, very slight humming in the air. In the air. And I imagine that the robotic dog may be aware of this.
The dog definitely is. The man is also, as he passes his scrutiny check and goes, "Boss?" The guy's, "What the fuck?" I don't think he's human. What? I don't think... Roll one last intimidation check for me.
All right. That is 2 9s.
All right. You break this man with 3 successful intimidation checks.
Yes.
He is hit with the feared condition. Has the fight or flight. He bolts. We are now left with 1 hangdog and 1 dog. The dog is also standing down. The one hangdog is trying to like put on a big show because he's scared as shit. He isn't sure if he should fight or flight yet.
All right. So he's just standing there?
Mm-hmm.
Is there an object nearby that no one seems to be looking at and probably isn't very valuable?
A disposable teapot.
All right. Is it near anyone who is not a hangdog?
No, it's just on an empty table.
Bill will, without turning away from this last hangdog, point his hand at the teapot and use the bite on it.
The second the gnashing of teeth happens, the hangdog bolts, goes, "They got a fucking demon!" The table is vaporized. The dog dies there. Just has a heart attack, dies instantly. Corey's going to finish his tea and go, "Alright. You didn't need to destroy the table, my guy. We gotta pay for that."
Yeah, I meant to only do the teapot. Sorry about that. It's a little tricky to control.
Yeah, no.
Actually, I probably should have rolled for that, shouldn't I?
You know what? Go for it. If actually, no, it wouldn't really change anything.
Okay.
You can roll for it if you want to try and gain the willpower, though.
Yeah. It would be 6 9s.
No, that would still destroy the table.
All right.
In fact, it might destroy the table more. Corey is going to pick up a broom, some grout, some tiles, and goes, "Okay, we have scuffed the tiles. We're going to have to retile this. I'm gonna make you do that with me."
All right.
That being said, good work. The dog is dead, which I don't think they'll avenge. So I'm gonna rate this a solid B+. All right. That being said, Bertram, you okay? Bertram's crying. All right, Bertram.
Oh, Bertram.
Hey, at least his name didn't end in area, or he would have had a heart attack too.
So pointers. You didn't need to use the bite. You could have just had Bertram flicker the lights. That would have worked just fine. He was already primed. 3, if you really wanted to sell the not human thing, you could have just drank like the steam water. Like they know this shit melts skin.
Yeah, considering they had some cybernetics in them, I wasn't sure how badly that would frighten them.
You know, it's more about laying the groundwork than the actual feat itself. You'd be surprised.
All right.
We do need to. There's a certain level of performance that you don't seem comfortable with. Might be more geared towards floor work, but in terms of being scary, I think you've got that down. It's a bit rough.
I figure if I just pump up the inhuman factor a bit, have a bit of a better idea who's around in my surroundings and could help me, should be able to do a lot better.
I'd recommend bumping it down, if anything. Remember, ambiguity works to your advantage. We'll also have to teach you about some parlance. The more professional your language, I think the better it might sell it.
Yeah, I guess that was sort of like going to a restaurant and there's a Very friendly man with a knife. Basically what happened here.
And you've just summed up our entire gang. All right. Okay, well, no, we do have to regrout this, though.
Yeah.
You and Corey spend the rest of the day redoing tiles on the floors and getting Bertram his table back.
Yeah, do we have to coax Bertram out from under the table?
Yeah, Corey just is like poking with a broom. Like trying to like spook him out of that. Get. Alright. So the Hounds of Day. No, wait. Got back to Charlie. Okay. I think this is right.
So,
What do you think of?
so I want to double check and make sure that I remembered correctly. The Franz is fireproof, right?
Correct.
I'm going to build an igloo out of it. Not like full size, but enough that I can put it around the fire so that it won't be casting light, and igloos will sustain the fire because there's airflow. Additionally, there should be airflow through the leaves, but not really much light being shed. And I can have heat pumped out into me from the front entrance.
Roll survival to build a plant igloo.
You need survival when you watch primitive technology.
I don't watch primitive technology.
You should have lied.
Do I get bonus dice, or am I just doing straight survival?
Just, I can give you one for taking your time because you have a little bit of time with the oxygen.
Okay. Ideally, once I have it somewhat covered, I should be able to remove the cup. Also, I'm going to heal Albert when he comes back around.
Done and done. All right.
I'm going to spend 1 willpower.
Okay.
Dang it. I'm rolling so bad tonight.
Okay. Did you get
No matches. No.
All right. You managed to get a pretty decent way there. You just take a little. It would have worked, but you just took a little bit too long, and the fire starts to die.
I mean, if the fire's about to die, I can literally just pick the cup up. It'll get back all of the oxygen, like, immediately, and then I can put it back.
Would you like me to describe what happens when you do that?
I mean, I'm assuming the things show back up and I get bit again, but...
Yeah, pretty much. As soon as you lift up the cup, its maw materializes on your arm and begins trying to wrench the cup away from you. You're gonna take 2 killing to your. You can pick the arm, actually.
The left, I guess? I don't know.
Okay. Because it did a contingent attack on whatever arm you used. Okay. You won't be able to place the cup back down while it's holding it. Albert is distracting the other one.
Okay. Do I still have the healing candy running?
Yes, you do. So you are healing,
Okay.
but while this thing
I'm
is
going,
ether and
I'm going to make a choice, and I'm going to use my hand the same way I was using the cup from my other arm.
You're just gonna put your hand on the fire?
I have the healing candy running.
Well, yeah, but I don't. So the cup is bigger than your hand. I'm not sure you can get like.
I know, but I can block a lot of the light. Actually, can I just put some of the leaves on it? Because that'll stop it from casting a lot of light.
All right. Yeah, you put the leaves on it. You put the fronds on it. The light is muffled. It's still shining through a little bit.
And then I can try and use my hand to block the rest. I don't care if I get burnt.
A lot of light still leaks through, but it's enough that the thing is diminished. You're gonna have to find a more permanent solution to these things. All right. So I noticed it is 10:05. This session ran way longer than I thought it would. Do you guys want to stop for the night, or?
I'm good too.
Yeah, it's up to you. I can keep going.
I can continue on.
Okay.
Just a little bit.
Okay. Seth, I'm gonna say you have about like a few more rounds before the effect, like you're just not gonna have enough time to sleep tonight.
Okay. Can I try and see if I can tap into any of the experience that I felt like I had earlier when using the knife?
Yeah, what specifically are you looking for?
So I had a feeling that as if I was remembering something that I did before using the knife. And I wanted to see if I could emulate that feeling again.
Alright.
For basically, if I knew how to use the knife, then I might have known how to deal with this from that same source.
Okay. Tell you what, I will take this as like a given action, like you will just succeed on this, but doing so will consume the knife. Like it will break the knife.
Ooh. E.
It's like using an item in your inventory to succeed on a puzzle.
I'm not cool with that.
I will say, if you don't think of something, you might just things might just go badly for you, even if these things don't kill you.
What's my dustpan made out of? I have a dustpan back from when I had the wizard broom.
It's just like plastic.
Okay. I do not know what to do here.
Tell you what, make a survival check for me. Just one last one.
Oh, I got 2 3s.
Okay. So, long story short, thinking of this in whaler terms, these are creatures of fire, smoke. If we're going by like the classical elements, this is technically a mixture of fire and earth, which would make its opposite air and water. So these things are probably weak to applications of a lot of water and wind. This is purely just you are on hallucinogenics still. World is whispering to you, and you're trying to think of stuff and like how a crazed whaler probably would. You're not even sure if it's accurate, but it's something.
Can I just tuck and roll into the water? There's water nearby, right?
Yeah, you're right on the coast. Yeah, you can just do that with your movement.
Yeah. I will go into the water and see if it that kills it. I would try and go on top of it.
Make a brawling check to grapple it into the water.
E.
Because its teeth
Can I do a different check? I was hoping it was just gonna come with me.
Width is the important thing here.
Oh well, I have 2 dice, so
You can burn a base will for a wickle dice.
I'm not doing that.
That's fair.
I only have 5 of those. Not sure when I lost one, but I did at some point. I guess I'll spend a willpower to gain a third dice so that there is some sort of chance that
If you make a 4, that's a 50-50.
Nope.
Alright, the second it sees you going into the water, it lets go and pulls back, so you know the water will harm it as you go into the water.
I'm going to slosh water towards it with the dustpan, because that should be very good for moving water.
Alright, make an athletics check with 2 bonus dice.
Man, can I make a coordination check since this is a ranged attack?
Make a ranged attack, dustpan, go for it.
Okay. 3 9s.
The second the water hits this thing's main form, it collapses like mud. The water turns inky and black, falling to the earth, where it is rapidly being absorbed but still present. The other Hound of Day just runs as soon as it's these things hunt in 2. As soon as one's gone, the other's done. It bolts.
Okay. So I will make sure that there's a lot of steam getting produced by the cup.
You notice that the ink, some of it is hanging around. Oslo steps back. Step 1 of binding. When you defeat a supernatural entity, it will always leave something behind you can use. Gather the ink.
I'm glad you said that. I was going to put more water on it.
Alright. So I think we should probably end now. I just wanted to finish one scene.
Am I able to sleep for the night after that?
Yes, you'll make a stealth check, though. Okay. This session was a mess. I'm just going to give everyone 2 experience if they're okay.
That is 2 9s on stealth.
Amp, Carronade, and Chivalry save the day by doing nothing. Did absolutely nothing.
It's a classic play.
The classic play.
The oldest of plays. Okay, we're gonna wait and see. We're not gonna break anything. We're gonna do good.
We do good.
All the smart characters come out. What do you mean you didn't do anything?
We're helping.
I'm just happy that when Bill woke up, Corey didn't Doc Brown him.
What do you mean?
Sorry, wait, no, I got the name wrong. It is...
Finally awake.
Yeah, that's the one.
Skyrim.
As far as you?
What's the name of the doctor in New Vegas? God damn it.
Doc Mitchell.
That's the one.
You're assuming that you're still not asleep.
Oh, fuck. I also am very happy to have had a moment to just acknowledge that Bill thinks the point is ridiculous, too.
I sent Kyle an eggplant emoji, but I went to GIFs instead, and in there is the veiniest motherfucking eggplant I've ever fucking seen.
All right, we're gonna stop
Look at
this
that.
scene right there.